huge experience of interviewing. Just tell me, what was the difference from your police experience and what we do now?
There's a lot of differences. The main difference is actually your objective of getting information. And policing, we always talk about interviews because it was a structured system that you had to comply with under law.
Yeah.
So therefore, whenever I did an interview, what I was looking for was evidence to go to court. It was always very structured.
Because one of the differences, excuse me interrupting, because you'd be trying to get prosecution, you're trying to, because we're not doing that at all.
Totally, because what I had to do when I was interviewing or even prosecuting in court, it was all about getting factual information which could be relied on. And the difference between when I moved into the world that we are in now was having to change an approach. And people don't understand the big difference is the fact that we have nothing behind us legal-wise.
Absolutely.
It's down to our personality and down to the skill of the interviewer to try to get information from people, sometimes in situations where people don't want to divulge information, but it's how you deal with that personally, and that's the big difference.
I think that's very important because you talked a little bit about yourself and personality. I mean, I've had people who just couldn't do it, and I think it's important if you feel you can't do it, you haven't got the personality, and you can't develop empathy with the person, then don't do it.
You can't bluff it. It's a sort. To me, I believe you can train people a lot of things, but having that one-to-one contact, which is what we require, is a very hard thing to train because you do have to have the link. And one of the important things in an interview, and I don't even like using the term interview because
I never use it.
It gives an idea of a block. It gives an idea of a formality. So even if you're trying to get information from people, the big issue for me is making contact with them and establishing that and keeping it.
Yes, I just ask them for a chat.
Yes, and it's the whole trust issue. It's the trust of that person who will come along and divulge you information which maybe they feel uncomfortable divulging.
It's amazing what people will tell you if you actually structure it correctly. But one of the things I found very important is I'm genuinely interested in the person. If you're not interested in the person, it doesn't work.
Yes, because what we're trying to do is to find out, generally we interview after incidents where sometimes traumatic things happen. And what we're trying to do is to find out what happened, what went wrong. And if the person understands that's what we're trying to do, it's not the portion responsibility in any way or the term we don't like using, blame in any way.
Yeah, I never use it. I never say we're not going to blame you because they don't hear not, they only hear blame.
Yeah. And it sets up a block to communication because once again, you've done all the hard work of getting the person, introducing yourself, trying to make yourself a trust. Sure. And you introduce one word, and that one word stops your interview straight away.
It stops it right away. Let's talk a little bit about truth because, what's the truth?
If we could answer that, Dave, we'd be multimillionaires. If we could actually get a system to find out what truth was. But I think what we try to do is to get as close to the truth as we possibly can. But in order to get to that, the truth that we believe or we see, you do have to listen to a number of different variations of stories, shall we say.
Sure.
And that's not because people are trying to deceive you mostly, it's because they see things in different ways.
And they've got their own truth.
Yes, and they believe that totally. And I've interviewed people and they've told me a story and I'm sitting there going, this is totally different to what I know happened, whether by CCTV or something else. But that person totally believed it.
I think I told you about that situation down south, a railway incident where 9 people were likely to be killed. They're all driving separate vehicles. So they had nothing to hide because they were the people whose lives had to be saved. And I wouldn't say I had 9 different stories, but certainly there were big variations across the 9. And yet they were wanting to tell me the truth.
I'd be more worried if they were all exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because that shows to me that there has been contamination, possibly. There's been interference, maybe peer pressure. And an example I had was where a interpreter thought they would do the right thing and interviewed 10 people together. And I got 10 exactly the same stories.
You just can't do that.
And when you look at it, you realise, no, this is wrong. It's not the way it happened. And sadly, people try to help on some occasions and they only hinder.
I'm really keen on this sort of conversation, relaxed conversation. In fact, one of the funny ones that really pleased me, I interviewed this chap who was a big introvert, and at the end of it he said, "Is that it then?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And the next day I overheard him in the corridor. Somebody said to him, "Alex, have you been interviewed?" He said, "I think so." And that's what I really wanted to get, is that relaxed, easy conversation.
But even taking it back to what we are trying to achieve, it's information. And people assume that you have to sit with a pen and a piece of paper. And as you've done many times, the best interviews are done at the moment, as closely after the incident as possible. No formality, simply asking somebody, what did you see? And another thing, even, what did you hear? What did you smell? Using all the senses.
That's tremendous, because I interviewed somebody in Australia about something very, very serious, and I wasn't getting anywhere until they said, "What do you smell?" And that was a trigger.
Trigger, fantastic trigger. And if you think back even in your own life, smell triggers many things, but you've also got other senses that we're trying to get from people. It's like sitting down to witness and starting it off, tell me, what did you see? You're restricting it to one
That's a
sense.
big problem for me, because I'm highly visual, and I don't have a great sense of smell or hearing. And so I've got to really be careful. I might even say, "Well, what did you feel?"
What's your gut feel?
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, anybody who's in danger, their body will react to that, and they'll be able to tell you.
Yeah.
And it's the same with even feel touch. Did you feel heat? Did you smell smoke?
Yeah.
And all these triggers help to bring memories back. Yeah. And all we're trying to do is to reach into people and bring out information that they have. A lot of people say you can only really recover about 40% of recollection of what people actually see. And our job is to get as much of that as we possibly can.
I've used, as you know, cognitive interviewing in the past, and sometimes that helps looking at it from a different point of view, getting to recall in a different way, and I feel I get more information from people, but it just depends on the situation.
It does, and especially if you've got a group situation where you're saying to somebody, take yourself away from that, and imagine looking down and what were you doing, what was so-and-so doing? But again, we try to use as best possible techniques without putting the person under pressure or strain. And we're not there to trick people either. People think about getting information, you have to maybe challenge people. What I like to do, and what we try to do in Topset, is simply to make problem solving is a big thing for me in regard to a witness.
There's a key word for me, and it's courtesy. Is treating people the way you would like to be treated. Now, I don't like interviewing in hotels, but I had to in Las Palmas for something very, very serious. And every person, I right down several floors to reception and walked back with the person. And one person was highly stressed. By the time we got to the room, we developed a relationship. And he sat down. He wasn't stressed when he got there, and I got the information I required.
I would never consider talking to people without breaking the ice.
Yeah.
And that would be literally, before I would ask any questions about the incident, I will talk to them about their travel to the interview, I'll talk to them about their family. If you know enough about the person, anything at all. But you mentioned courtesy, and one of the first definition you learn in the police is courtesy.
Yeah.
And courtesy is an essential quality, and that's the first thing you learn in the police.
Because just going back over that question of interview, I never use the word interview. I find it's a loaded word, and people, coming for an interview, that you immediately got them frightened and they want to withdraw. I just want to come and have a chat.
The best, and one way to actually get people to engage is even what they found out in a scientific review. Would you come and talk with us?
I like that, with us.
Yes, which is a very good way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Interviewing is a vital part of any investigation. This short video, which you have just watched, is based on years of research and practice. I hope that you found it useful.